Alright, what's up? Welcome back to jademwAscension. Today we're going to be checking out BBL Pacific. Okay, let me be a little bit more specific. Okay, BBL Pacific is the team that did a lot of great games. So today we're going to check out their game against Focus. They did. More specifically, we're going to watch the Haven, and again how they do a really nice proactive defense. Right, I was watching them. They really reminded me a lot of when I watched ULF as well just the other day. You can check that video out if you want in my channel or in description. Maybe I can put it. Who knows? They play really proactively in the defense, and they really try to take the game in their own hands to get on top of the information they have, and again just play really precisely, right? So why was I really interested in their Haven? Because if you check the stats here from the first of from 2025, they have a 26-4 win rate on Haven, which is just madness. Like, this record is crazy, and also they're about to play the Ascension final, right? And up against Dynasty, both these teams like to ban bind. So I mean, there's maybe a world where Dynasty could to go for the Haven ban, but I'm pretty sure Haven is going to come in the series. So we can check this game out now and get ourselves some kind of anticipation of what the game style might look like in this final, right? To qualify to VCT. That's kind of crazy. So, as we know, BCF is an insane team. So if I'm going to sit here and say, let's just check out generally how they play on Haven, we'll be here all day, right? They do so many things so well. So what I want to focus on the most is certain rounds where they're really kind of proactive, taking decisions, right? I mean, this is the overall base of their style, at least in this map. So yeah, let's take a look at their setup here. What they decide to do? They decide to do the most basic thing ever: 1-3-1. This is like the best basic setup on Haven. Almost no matter the comp, if you want to be proactive and take decisions, right? So let's take a quick look into the round. What they're going to do is they're going to throw some utility into A, right? They're going to throw a smoke. They're going to throw a reveal. They're going to throw a stun, and then like that. After that, they're going to push mid. Okay, and let's just take a quick look at how it goes down. But basically, it works great. 1 kill here for a breach, and then they don't expect Omen. Super aggressive, right? Crazy. I mean, I was going to say it's crazy by Loita, but at the same time it makes sense, right? So if we go back, I can also explain to you basically why do they do it like this. So there's two things that they play on here that I think is really important. The first is that they kind of fake out the classic way to play Haven, especially the classic way to play on a first gun round, and use that to advantage to actually be really aggressive, right? So I mean, I didn't state it, but it's pretty obvious that this is like kind of bonus round for Focus. I mean, they have a really good buy, to be honest, so it's maybe just first gun round, but it's definitely right. Like, normally you wouldn't push on like this kind of bonus round, right? This crazily, with a smoker like Loita does. So when they throw here, you see the Breach throws the stun. Okay, so throws the reveal, they throw the smoke. They're kind of baiting a classic Haven defense, right? Which would be what? The Jet goes down short, peeks with the stun, and they try to fight for the A lobby, right? Obviously, A lobby, very important area on Haven. So they, by faking that out, they can then push mid. But the most important thing when you play a 1-3-1, right? As I said, 1-3-1, blah blah blah. The most important thing is you don't just push mid to push mid, okay? Like, the point of the setup is you can be proactive and rotate in any way you like. Obviously, the best thing to do is to push mid, but you need to make sure that you push mid after pressure happens on the map, right? So if you have to wait to see if the enemy started with an A default or a C default, something like this. Otherwise, they might just be in window, ready to flash peek and kill you, right? So it's good that they see some stuff from Neon and A. Your boy Lewis, he put a reveal on Rose here. And then like that, okay, they know that mid is probably a little bit weak. They maybe have a little bit of timing here, so they instantly push down. And by insta pushing down, you see, they completely catch Zus for free. And Zus as well, like, he doesn't spot Loita as well, so Loita gets another one for free. And just like that, they've been proactive and they've instantly taken a round win. Very easy. Okay, next round here. Now they mix it up, and they do the absolute most basic way to play Haven, right? So how are they playing? Omen is on C, ready to paranoia if they're going to rush C. Jet is fighting for short, Sova is fighting for long. Breach is going to stun, and basic stuff, right? Like, we all know this on Haven, but why is it so important to fight for the A lobby? And also garage, right? These are the two most important areas on the map always, right? Why is this? Because they branch out into two zones, right? So there's A short and A long, and same for garage technically, right? There's going to C and going CT. So if you can hold these deep areas, like you can hold here and you can hold here, then that means you only need to use, one person to hold that, one person to hold that, compared to you lose this space, then you need, one guy here and one guy here, right? So in total, that's 2 on A compared to when it could be just one, right? So yeah, this is just the classic way to play on Haven. And it's nothing special what they do here. They basically just kind of play on the fake of last round where they stunned for nothing. Now they stun for real and they just fight. I think just the one thing that's really nice that I don't think every team would do is that Rose is also very committed to fight, right? Like, even though he's not gonna, the Breach plays from A-Link, to have a better rotation around B and C. So he's not even got like a flash long or anything like this. But I just think it's really nice how he just doesn't care. You know, he knows that, you know, if they're putting the stun, if Jet is already going to peek Lover's Rock, then he needs to help that guy out, right? So he just swings straight for the smoke long. They fight for this, and then after this, I mean, the round is very easy. Okay, Larocque as well does great. He plays very disciplined in 5v3. Like, it's very easy for a breach to just fight deep into the site or something like this. But instead, he stays safe. He stays in A-Link. He knows that the enemies have to push him because they have the big advantage here, BCF, and just like that, the round is easily closed out, right? Just again, I mean, this is the most basic round of Haven ever, but you can see that they executed very well. So, you know, nothing to say. Here we've got another 1-3-1 round. But the thing is, how this mid round plays out, it's going to be different, and we can learn a lot about the individual decisions they take, right? So let's watch the round. They're going to keep following the fundamentals. They're going to put some pressure into A, and they're going to wait to push until they see that something happened on the map, right? So this Omen, as we know, Loita, he's not going to move until there's kind of pressure on A, and then once that happens, okay, they're going to start to take mid as a you know, classic reaction, okay. But the problem here is that they get spotted, right? They get spotted and they take some damage on Loita. So situation's messed up here right now. Right now we can look at the map, okay? What's happened? They've lost A control. They've tried to take mid in reaction, but they've been stopped as well, so you can't take mid. And so it's very hard, right? Like, they could try to group up and re-clear A, but you know, you'd kind of, it's already very hard, right? You see, like, Neon is inserted here. They don't know if people are here. It's very hard. So what the Cypher realizes, Kreven, who he does an insane job here, we can watch this. Basically, he already has this deep camera. Let me go back to the normal map. He already has this deep camera looking down C long, and he's going to use this to know that, okay, looks like it's kind of weak around here. And he's going to basically just keep taking risks. So Rose is trying his best to use some utils to re-clear A, right? He uses the drone here. He's going to throw a reveal in a second too. But Kreven knows that, Kreven, I don't know, bro. Basically, he knows that it's very important to keep pushing, right? It's very important to take, it's taking a risk, but it's like, if they don't take that risk, imagine if he doesn't take C long right now. This would be the map control for Focus. And then BBL would have no idea what's going on the map, right? They'd just be full question marks. So I think it's very great what he does. And then like that, what they're going to do is they're actually going to 4-stack A. And this is something where it looks crazy, but I'm going to explain to you why I think it's brilliant. The obvious reason is that, like, there's two reasons I would say. So obviously, Cypher can play alone in C-bomb site, right? Why is this? Because if enemies come garage, they get crunched, and that's fine, right? In the retake. But the obvious thing that's weird is he leaves B fully open. Now, there's two reasons why I think he does this. The first, let me move my epic pen a little bit so you can see. The first why I think that he does this is actually Yoru ulti, right? So if you think about it, if you have a Yoru ulti, you're not going to use it just to clear a small space on B and get the plant and then go back, right? It's pretty unlikely. And you are going to think about, we should use this Yoru ult to win this round. Now, Focus don't actually, but I don't think, I mean, that's just because Focus played weird, you know, as well, right? What can we do? And the second thing is obviously as well, like, think about how they started the round, right? They started the round in 1-3-1 and tried to push mid. So it's, for me, it would seem pretty unlikely. Like, Focus should not be thinking, oh guys, let's go back to B. There's probably 0 B. Like, that seems crazy to say. So yeah, it's a little bit risky what they did, I think, but in the end, it's absolutely the correct call. And we can watch the execute work, right? As well, by the way, actually, you see Loita, he did put a smoke on B. So as well, there's like, they're trying to make sure that they, you know, that what they end up doing works. Yeah. So yeah, now Zus uses the Yoru ulti, but it's like kind of late, and yeah, I mean, we don't need to watch more BCF win the rounds, right? It's pretty easy. Okay, we're gonna jump into the mid round here. This is just a very quick clip I want to show, but again, this is a lot like what You Were Lefted, which is going to be, you know, this is really going to be the story of the this is really the story of the Ascension finals. It's going to be about are the Turkish team's proactiveness going to be proactiveness and like aggressiveness going to work, or are they going to get punished for it, right, on the LAN, on the stage, right, with the crowd. It's going to be really interesting. Basically, I just wanted to show this because this round is really, really simple. What happens? Kreven tries to, you know, he gets a fight, he loses the fight, and Loita is just incredible. Basically, he takes a risk to walk through the smoke here, and he gets 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill, right? I just love these kind of moves because basically, yes, it is so risky what he does, technically. Like, if we think about like the risk versus the reward, it's kind of crazy because what's going to happen if he dies? Okay, let's analyze the position here. They're already 4v5. If the smoker dies, you have no smoke for retake. GG. It's an 100% lost round, right? 100%. If Loita goes through this smoke and dies, 100% BCF have lost the round. But if he doesn't go through the smoke, again, what are the chances to win the round, right? It's not easy. They don't have any ultimates. They don't have anything like this. So what he does is he takes a risk, but that risk can pay off greatly, right? Because all he does is here he wins one gunfight, okay? He wins one gunfight against a Neon who maybe doesn't expect him a little bit, and then boom, he punishes a mistake, right? Mystic is thinking, okay, I'm going to go on top, I'm going to get set up with the post plant, blah, blah, blah. Mystic, he misanticipates the situation, right? And Loita punishes. You know, it's yeah, I could yap all day. It's not more complicated. And this is just basically, I just love that a player like Loita here, he is so confident and also knows that taking this risk is really, really worth it, right? Playing a retake, with, as I said, like no breach ulti, no Sova ulti, also no paranoia even. Like, it's not a good thing, right? So he thinks it's better to just take this. Even if dying would lose the whole round, he still has that confidence. I think that's really cool. Okay, perfect. Let's look at the last round now that we want to look at. Okay, it's the last round of the half against focus. First thing, the most important thing is actually let's check out the setup, okay? So they've made some swaps this time. It looks a bit like a default, but what are the swaps, right? So firstly, Jet is playing towards C, and Cypher's put this camera again. Why is this? Because the guy wants to walk down C, right? We didn't really see it, but after this this round 6, I'm highlighting something you can't see. Like, oh, wait, hold on, I got this. Look, so I highlighted the round 6, whatever, right? We'd remember it. The one where Cypher pushed in C-Long, basically. After this, he did it a little bit more, and they've kind of realized that this is really weak. So I think setting the operator on a deep line, this is very strong. And the second thing that's good is Breach doesn't play towards A-Link anymore. Why? Because he's not going to stun this for an Omen to peek, right? Too risky. You'd only stun that really for a Jet to peek, or if you're fighting as 3+ people. And the third part that I think is brilliant is Omen plays with Sova on A. Why is this? Because basically, if A is free, you don't want to leave Sova on A anymore, right? Normally that's something basic, right? We saw this a lot, like Sova stays in long, he watches this angle, blah, blah, blah. That's your kind of A lobby control, right? That can happen really often. It happened in this game often, even. But why they don't want to do it here is, I'll zoom back out to the map so you can actually see it. Sova ulti, right? So Sova ulti, we'll see it in a second, but they do a nice trick with the drone, which also I think Omen helps with because he can kind of cover. But also in general, you want Sova in rotation, right? There's so many good Sova ultis you can do on this map in rotation. Like, for example, you move to A-Link here, you can ulti towards Garage like this, incredible, right? Oh, they start to rush on C, okay, boom, I'm ulting the default, I'm ulting across all of this, I mean, this is kind of obvious ults, but really it's important to make sure your Sova's in rotation to make that ult useful, right? So let's watch what I said. Okay, I said that they did a little trick, I would say, here. So Sova doesn't instantly reveal this round. Why is this? Because Cypher has been playing A sometimes, like they start towards more mid focus, and Cypher puts a cage in A. So if you put a reveal, in general, it doesn't have a lot of purpose. So instead what he's going to do is, as well, he's going to start with a drone, and because he's going to go for this drone, Breach moves towards A-Link now to support the guy, okay? Like, Breach is ready to stop Garage at the start, but now he rotates, and look what they do to poor Alorante here. They do the stun, they do the Sova ulti, and boom, opening kill, done, right? Insane round. At the same time, we can check back in on the map. Look what's happened. Jet has taken C-Long. Insane, right? So now focus no. Okay, boom. We don't have A. We don't have C. Let's try to go fast into B now. Right? That's probably what's weak for BBL. And they're right. Right? So they go into B. They try to see what happens. Larocque plays great. He knows they're an advantage. He backs off. And then Loita comes back in and supports, right? So look at focus right now. We'll see in a second. It looks more obvious. Like, I paused the round right here. So what's happened, okay? So they didn't have info about C and A. The A guy died, so they tried to react into B. But obviously, the B site alone, this is not enough space to play from the bomb site, right? And also, I don't believe it's good for them to keep mid, because their Cypher's dead, right? So the traps are gone. Maybe it's a trap here, right? No traps for behind, so it would be very hard to stay in, under window, stuff like this. So what they tried to do is they tried to take A-Link. What happens? Loita throws a paranoia back at them, and the situation has ended up that this is the space for focus, and this is the space for BBL. Like, this is crazy. And after this, we can watch. It's very easy how they convert the round. So first, the 3 people on A-Link are playing. Oh, I'll go back to the normal map. The 3 people on A-Link are playing. They're trying to put some fights. They get 1 kill. Focus are trying to take A-Link again because they have no choice. And already by the time that's happened, now everyone is chilling because Lover Rock has the backstab. Coming all the way from C-Long. He gets a good position. And now they can just chill. Focus after plant. They cannot plant. Lover's Rock is in the case. Chippy Chippy Chappa Chappa, the goat. Anyone remember Chippy Chappa's? Best team, bro. Such a funny name. And yeah, after this, they slowly, just pick everybody, convert the round. Boom, right? So let's go to Valoplat and let's see what conclusions we can take from the game. So, perfect, right? What did we learn from BBL today? We learned that they are incredibly good at fighting for the important zones, right? Fighting for the A lobby. We saw this. They can do it in the most basic way, or they can mix it up, with the Sova ulti. We saw that they are good at kind of their 1-3-1, right? This is one of their favorite rounds, it looks like. They want to, start and they want to react, push mid, but only on information, right? And then also we saw a lot of good things from individuals, right? So like what I said, this one round, Cypher pushed down, like, okay, they lost info on mid, they lost info on A, so Cypher took his initiative and pushed down C long, and like that he won his team that round, absolutely, that was really clean. And then it was also the round where Loiter, right, he was stuck here, they were down 4v5, he wanted to take a risk, goes through the smoke, boom, and he catches one, he catches another guy TPing up, blah blah blah, and these kind of things, this kind of confidence, this is going to be very important for, as I was saying, this finals match, right? As we know, this is going to be on LAN. I mean, all the games have been on LAN, but this is going to be on stage even, as if I'm not wrong. So if we're thinking about inexperienced players who might feel this pressure, I think it's so reasonable to think someone can make mistakes like TPing up here and not being ready for this crazy push. If Loita, Krewin, these people can keep up this risk taking, I think this will be very important to win the game, right? And to be honest, they already have the experience playing in the finals last season. If we want a prediction, I really think BBL PCIFIC are going to VCT. The second game might be more complicated, though. We'll have to wait and see. Ulf against Mandatory. But yeah, I just think BBL PCIFIC, there's a reason they have this win rate on Haven. It's really great, and yeah, I can't wait to watch the final. Come back tomorrow, or maybe the next day. I don't know exactly when, but before the finals happens, again, I'm gonna watch Mandatory as well, because for me, they are such an interesting team. They are completely different to like BBL or ULF that we watched before. I feel like they focus much more on being kind of better in kind of team play, I would say. Not that these teams are bad in team play, but they're more like disciplined. They're going to take their time more, not going to be so aggressive in their fighting, because the reality is they don't have players that are as good as fighting as Turkish talents, right? But they use that in their own way as well. Their players have their own strengths. So we're going to check out that game as well, and then maybe we can understand who will win Mandatory or Ulf, ULF, whatever. And yeah, then get ready for these EU finals. It's going to be insane games. I can't wait these next couple of days. Anyway, until now, see ya.